We
back.
are live and back into it.
Yep.
Podcast number 2.5, I think, is where we're at.
Yeah, I think so.
Because 0.5 is the initial one.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right off the bat, one, kind of exciting, also kind of disappointing, the feedback.
Yeah?
All of our feedback so far has only been positive. I hate that shit.
Dude, okay, we had this convo already, man. I think we're just perfect at what we do.
No. I refuse to believe that there was nothing we could have improved on in the first time we put the stuff out.
Well, I think one thing I could have improved on was, after listening to it, was projecting my voice a bit more, because I was a bit quiet at times. Just like, I would just scream into the mic from now on, like screamo. Like,
Yeah, just yell into the mic.
there you go. And then the other thing I noticed too is I said like a lot.
Oh, we also got to cut out the yas.
Yeah.
No. You can't say it anymore, man. We only say affirmative, I agree, well said,
What the hell?
perfect.
Affirmative.
Yeah. Roger that, sir. Correct.
Oh my god.
No, but first of all, shout out Thea for being the only one to actually fill out that form. Everybody else gave us a ton of feedback, like verbally.
Yeah.
But Thea was the only one who actually took the time to fill out that form.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, when we send out this next one, we get some more people to fill out the actual form so we can have some kind of data to look back on.
Are you gonna modify the form at all, or are you just gonna send it out?
I like where the form is at
Yeah.
already.
Fuck, I said it.
Dude, you can't. It's not okay.
Affirmative.
We need to have somebody in here that just like judges every word we say.
Every time we say yeah, we get fucking tased.
Yeah. I think, oh, fuck.
It's so over.
Ah, God damn, man.
We'd be getting
We
tased
take
a
shots
lot.
every, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyways, we're going to get stuck on this in a loop. So looks like you got some topics. I kind of let it up to you to kind of guide today because
Yeah.
you got a good amount of stuff on this little note sheet we got here. So go ahead and take it.
Not necessarily. I think we'll start off with the book.
Yeah.
The chapter 3.
Chapter 3, automation.
So give me what was the biggest thing you took away from this chapter?
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't actually get through the whole chapter.
No.
Yes, I am sorry to all of the loyal viewers out there
Shame.
that are disappointed in me, but I might just pay a virtual assistant to read it for me and to do everything for me because that is the biggest takeaway I got from that.
Yeah.
Which is literally just pay some dude in India or in like some poor country to do all of your shit for you, like some servant, but virtually.
I saw what you were doing earlier. You're like, you know what? I think I'll let you take the reins with this one. You didn't fucking read the book, that's why.
No, what are you talking about, dude? Well, I don't know why you would think such a heinous... That's ridiculous. I would never do that.
Yeah. This chapter was good, but also sucked at the same time for me.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it, I'll be honest, compared to the first two. First two had a ton of sustenance to it, and I was kind of wired reading it. Like, I felt like I was getting new, good information every time. I feel like this one was very, like, repetitive, and Fairy was just kind of sitting there saying, like, look what I did. Like, I'm so cool because I got some Indian to do all my fucking shit for me.
Yeah, I got some dude like 6,000 miles away, like planning my dinner dates and shit.
Yeah.
It's like giving a smartphone to a caveman. Like, he don't got Wi-Fi, he don't got Bluetooth, he can't use that shit. And I feel like that's where a lot of people would land with this chapter that we read. A lot of it's very business oriented because basically the entire chapter, to sum it up, is just making your business as efficient as possible. Because the whole goal of the book is to have as much time for you in your life as you can and make it as hands-off as possible. And that's what this chapter was like centered around pretty much, is delegating these like tasks out to like virtual assistants to like set up meetings and calendars and shit like that.
Right. It like the first 2 chapters were very much like figuring out how to lower and eliminate the workload that you already have. And then this chapter was very much like, okay, that workload that you now have that is minimalized to a T, like you've optimized it basically, give it all away to somebody else to do so you have nothing to do.
Yeah, just go fuck off and play solitaire for like 6 hours. Check your email twice a day.
Right. And honestly, when I was reading, I almost felt kind of like guilty of like
really
the idea of doing what he was kind of suggesting people do.
Why?
Well, I mean, like, I know it was an extreme example in the book, but Ferry brings up we got like into an argument with his wife.
Okay.
And
I know, this is hilarious.
Yeah, he pays his virtual assistant, his like concierge in India. I forgot, it's like W or like YWII or something.
Your man in India.
Yeah,
It's like the name of their company.
Something like that. He pays his concierge service to write a email to his wife or like a letter or something asking for forgiveness and that like he felt bad for getting in an argument with her.
That is the funniest shit I've ever read.
And I was like, oh my God, like I get it's like extreme, but it honestly just kind of like hit with me a little harder because I was like,
really?
I would already feel guilty having like a butler.
Really?
Yeah. To me, having somebody do like all of my shit for me, even if it's stuff I don't want to do, I feel, I don't know. It feels weird. Like we have maids that come into this apartment. Shout out to the maids who stole my fucking SD card.
Yeah, they stole my SIM card.
We had to buy a new one because of the maids. But they come into this apartment to help clean, and I feel guilty every time. Like,
yeah.
I don't pay for them, but still.
Dude, I was just dying at the thought of this because I would assume he lived with his wife
right
at the time. And just dying at the thought of like them going to bed mad and waking up in the morning and she's like, "Why are you going to apologize?" And he's like, "Yeah, check your email, babe."
Right. And then he says it worked.
Yeah, that's the crazy part too. How did that work?
I don't know. Like right after, it's like he says that she just like was like, "Oh, thank you, honey. That was so sweet. We're totally okay now."
Yeah.
No shot that shit actually worked.
No chance.
If you tried that shit on like a real woman,
I'm getting slapped.
Yeah, you're getting slapped. You're probably getting broken up with on the spot.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No way.
I do see the value in it though, because like if you're making, let's say your hourly with your job is $25 an hour, but you can pay this like concierge in India $5 an hour to do more of like the busy work and shit like that, and if that enables you to take on more clients, then I definitely see the value in it. Because I know you got the podcast is like your thing you're doing on the side. I got my own little company, I guess you could call it, and it's essentially social media marketing consulting,
right?
Which is a mouthful, but it's basically the way businesses hire consultants, and they look at their operations and they see how they can. What are you smirking at over there?
You care to elaborate a little more on what your business started with?
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting there.
All right.
So the way that
I need to clear my name because of this podcast.
The way that businesses hire consultants and they, I guess, optimize their operation and make them more money is essentially I do the same thing but with social media. So either like influencers or brands or businesses who want to grow their reach and things like that. That's who I would work with, and I dig through analytics. I look at reach and engagement and stuff like that. If they have like a shit ton of, I don't fucking know, like if their impressions are up, so it's like how many people how many screens your post slides across, but your conversion rate, which is how many people actually like click on the link or the link tree or whatever the fuck you have that relates it back to your website. If your impressions are high but your conversions are low, you're like, okay, something's wrong here. And that's where I would come in and I would do a little, fix it up a bit. So,
right.
Long story short, you hired me to make you more money. off social media.
Yeah. Gotcha. Growing your marketing reach.
Yeah, and a lot of it, like one of the clients I'm working with right now owns a hot chili oil brand. And I did like maybe 30 or 45 minutes of research today on the hot sauce market in Pacific Asia, which is supposed to grow by 6.7% in the next 10 years. So
that's
so keep your eye on that one.
Keep an eye out from hot sauce in Pacific Asia.
But a lot of it is just like, I don't want to say busy work, but a lot of it is just like a lot of like digging through. You do competitor analysis. You're looking at like other people in the business or whatever that your client is working in. You're seeing what they're doing, what's going right, what's going wrong. Your market analysis, like fucking Asian hot sauces.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of that can just be pushed over to some dude in India, and I can focus on more important things like organizing meetings with clients or preparing like media strategies and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do definitely see the value in it, but for the average person that doesn't have a company or a business or something of that nature, I feel like it could get a little lost on them.
Right. Yeah. I would definitely agree. This chapter was very heavily focused on people in kind of the entrepreneur mindset.
Yeah.
And having their own thing. Mm-hmm. It's hard to kind of spin the concepts in chapter 3 towards just everyday life. Because you can't, like, I'm sure you could, right? I mean, if I'm going through college right now, I'm sure I could pay some kid in India or use, that's what Chegg basically is.
Yeah.
Right? To just do your homework for you. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, like, it still comes around, you got an exam that you have to do. And it doesn't work, And if you want to be the guy out there that's listening right now that wants to pay some, like, kid in Bangladesh to tell your girlfriend that you're sorry, good fucking luck. Valentine's Day is coming up.
It is. It's about a week away.
If you want to get some Indian Riz, man, then you can outsource it. Outsource your confidence in your Riz to someone else, I guess.
I think I'll hire like a virtual assistant to run my Tinder account.
Yeah, right. And then we'll see what the results are.
Yeah. That actually does sound kind of fun, not going to lie.
Yeah, well, I mean, after what I saw today, I think you might need a virtual assistant.
That's insane.
Did you even get a reply?
Yeah.
Oh.
So basically, long story short, is this girl and I matched on Tinder, and like it's not that serious. So.
Oh, it's serious.
Her name was Zoe.
Zoe.
So don't say it like that.
Oh my God.
My opening line was, "Hey, you know what rhymes with Zoe?" She said, "Here, I'll be me, you be Zoe."
Okay.
Hey, do you know what rhymes with Zoe?
What?
Shit, I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far.
What did I say? Lol, okay.
Or she said like damn or some shit.
Damn?
Yeah. And I was like, all right, you know what? Let me start over. Knock, knock.
Am I supposed to reply now?
Yeah.
Who's there?
Shit, I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far.
Oh.
That dude, tell me that's not comedic gold.
I would have blocked you on the spot.
That is comedic gold. She don't know what she's missing.
Zoe, if you're out there, I would not put it past you to block this man.
What?
For putting you in that time loop.
Look, honestly, at that point, if she blocks me, then she doesn't know what humor is, and I wouldn't want to date her anyways.
Yeah. City boys up.
City boys
up. Right.
As always.
Well, to continue into... well, actually, you got one more question here, and then we can go into your confidence versus ego here.
Oh, yeah. So if you got a virtual assistant...
Right.
What was what's the first task you would assign it?
Probably emails.
Emails?
I'm terrible with emails. It's something that I know I got to get better at, and I've still been working at trying to get better at, but I have 2 different personal emails. Mm-hmm. I have the business email now, and keeping tabs on all of those on a daily basis is rough.
Yeah.
And whenever I miss one, I get so pissed at myself.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
As in, if I check my email and there's something that was, important I should have responded to, 4 days ago, mm-hmm. and I totally didn't see it.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Then I get so frustrated. because it's like I'm missing an opportunity to continue a conversation that somebody's already started.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. It's just I suck at it. I suck at emails.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's valid. If you like miss it after a couple of days, that's fair. But when you said like miss an email, my mind went to like you caught it like a couple hours later.
Oh,
like,
no.
It's not that deep, bro.
Yeah, no, I only check my emails like twice a day.
Yeah.
But I'll check and my inbox is already at like 30 for each one. And I'm like zooming through trying to get through so I'm not wasting all this time checking my emails. And then I'll accidentally like mark one as read that I actually should have actually read. Mm-hmm. And then next thing I know, 4 days later, I'm getting a follow-up from someone saying like, hey, did you see this email? And it was something that was pretty important to respond to.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, it's man. Rough. Actually embarrassed.
This is kind of like, just real quick, back to the feedback concerns.
Oh, okay.
This is a thought I had. A couple people told me, because I guess our audio started a bit late last episode.
Right.
So we were like in the middle of talking about how short our headphone cords were.
Oh, okay.
And they told us we should do like a little intro or whatever. But I just thought it would be really funny if that just became like our bit for the entire podcast.
You just jump in the middle every time?
Yeah, but it's like something like more outlandish like every time.
Oh, so we're in the middle of just some crazy conversation.
Yeah. Just be like, yeah.
I like it.
And then, yeah, and that's why I'm not allowed into Disneyland anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome back to, and then
right
into it.
Yeah. All right.
I thought that'd be hilarious.
I like it.
I mean, like, I don't know if we can do it now.
Like that's why. Anyways, so that's why I'm on a sex offenders list. But we can keep going on. Let's get going into this podcast.
A quick disclaimer: Anthony is not actually on a sex offenders list.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely not.
All right, moving on.
Okay. So next thing we're going into is confidence versus ego. Where is the line? Yeah. Another one from Mr. BJ here, so I'll let him start it off.
Yeah, that's the one, because I think it's confidence versus ego is a very thin and very blurry line.
Yeah, you and I don't struggle with confidence or ego, so I think we're probably talking about other people here.
Yeah, no, for sure. We definitely know where the line is because we're perfect all the time.
Right.
But continuing on, I think it's a really difficult, I guess, subject because it's so perceptive. Like one man's confidence is another man's ego. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think if somebody likes you or like enjoys being around you, what you have is confidence. Mm-hmm. But it's more likely to be perceived as ego by someone who kind of is a hater, you know? But then it's hard for you to internally realize that because then you think that everybody who says you have an ego is your hater.
Exactly. That's why I think I agree, but not like completely.
Yeah, I get you.
Because I feel like you can like still hang around with people who still like you and like your friends, and like they're just being truthful and it's like, yeah, you got a bit of an ego sometimes, but that doesn't necessarily mean they hate you.
Right.
So is it like in the like I guess if you could walk the walk, maybe is that where you like draw the line, or can you still if you can still back it up, would it still be considered an ego? Or is that confidence?
I don't know. I guess it just depends on how much you, like, show it off, you know? Like, I don't think Messi goes around, like, getting touches in front of people all the fucking time. Everybody knows he's good, you know? And if he did that all the time, then it'd be more of an ego thing. But I do understand how to, like, that it is hard to find that line. I definitely struggle with that line. Yeah.
I don't.
No, I know you don't. Yeah. You're perfect. You got it.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah, today we actually had in one of our classes we had to do like a 5-year goal plan.
Oh my god.
And
no way.
This guy literally spent like the first half of the class just figuring out what his weaknesses were because he couldn't think of any.
we had to decide our strengths and weaknesses, and then from there we had to like say like our goals for 5 years and then create a plan around it.
Right. Shout out Gibson, as always.
Shout out.
I know you didn't see the first podcast because for some reason I sent you the wrong email and I still have to send it again. But
really,
shout out Gibson regardless.
I just hate doing those like introspective things where it's like, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses?
Yeah.
Because if I say my strength, it feels like I'm bragging. If I say a weakness, I feel like I'm being humble.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I don't know. I agree. I have nothing to say to that one.
Yeah, everyone agrees with me all the time.
Right.
Moving on. I think you want to move down to your DJ Khaled quote next.
Oh, sure.
So
I mean, it kind of goes back to the feedback concerns, but
okay.
Quoting DJ Khaled, suffering from success.
We the best.
We the best music.
We the best podcast.
No, it's not just specific to the podcast, actually. I think it's. I mean, the quote I've always seen is kind of like a joke. Like, I've just like said it as a joke type of thing.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I kind of understand just where, like, you have this goal that you set out for yourself and you achieve it much faster than you thought you were going to.
Yeah.
And you kind of, I think it's maybe like imposter syndrome is what it's pretty similar to.
Yeah.
Where once you achieve that goal and you're finally in the position that you really wanted to get to, whether it's like a grade in a class, like making a certain amount of money, getting a job, getting a girlfriend, like anything, you start to kind of tear yourself apart a little bit because you're like, wait, why was this so easy? It should not have been that easy. Something's wrong. Like, something's fucked up here.
I saw something on Instagram earlier this week talking about imposter syndrome. And basically the dude was saying, like, yeah, if you have an imposter syndrome, just, like, outwork your self-doubt. Would you agree that's, like, a way to defeat it? Or, I guess, conquer?
Yeah, but, I mean, maybe. I feel like you're kind of running away from it then.
I just don't think that's a valid, like... Because I feel like no matter how much work you put in, that's, like, the one essence of imposter syndrome. Is that even though you do deserve something or you might deserve something, you still feel like you don't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you're running away from facing and figuring out why you don't feel like you deserve it.
So how would you face it? How would you go about it?
I think it just comes down to getting used to succeeding. Like, you have to be okay with it. It's hard to it is hard right off the bat. I mean, especially when you see other people like really struggling and they cannot get what you have gotten so easily, and a part of you feels kind of like guilty and like ashamed that you've gotten what they've been like searching for so long.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think it just comes down to that confidence thing and being a little okay with having an ego, you know, and just being like, yeah, I'm fucking awesome. Yeah. Like, I got that shit easy. Like, that's just how I am. That's it.
Honestly, I'm really glad you brought that up because I feel like hot take about to be here.
Okay.
I think having an ego is okay.
100%.
As long as you can back it up.
Yeah. I would agree.
If I walk around thinking I'm a millionaire, but I don't have $1 million, I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I guess.
But if
let
me finish. Don't give me that look.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
But if I walk around and I'm proud because I have a company and it starts to do well, then I feel like I've earned that right to walk around. And I'm not saying you deserve to act like a douchebag to people just because you get
little Russ Hanneman
mildly successful. Yeah.
Yeah. Get some doors to open you like this, man.
But also at the same time, I feel like don't be like overly humble about the things that you have achieved.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that is pretty helpful when it comes to people trying to get jobs too. Like straight out of graduation, you kind of just downplay everything that you've done in school because it's like, oh well, it was a school project. Like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. When it should be the opposite. Like, you should, like, I think that's the one thing. I got to go back to Silicon Valley again. Okay. I love that show, man.
All right.
Eric Bachman.
Okay.
That dude is the best at like overplaying and like hyping up very little things to just sound like he's a god. And I think everybody needs to take a note from that.
Really?
If you have some little project that you've done, just think about how you can just like overly BS the shit out of that to like an interviewer.
You got to sell yourself.
Yeah, just go into the deepest corner of what you could like possibly pull out of that. Maybe you don't have to say everything to the interviewer and stuff, but like at least pretend. And then when you actually are talking to like on that interview or whatever, you'll be able to actually talk about how you like what you did and how good it was. Like just make some shit up.
Just lie on your interview. It's
I mean, come on. It's not a polygraph, all right?
Yeah, duh.
If it's a polygraph, you can be a little more reserved, say some truths out there. But ain't nobody got to check. Get your fucking job. Get your money. You'll figure it out on the job anyways.
Yeah, I don't know about lying about it.
I don't know.
No, I think it's definitely it's 100% important to be confident, and I think having just a little bit of ego frosting on top of that cake is okay. But like I said, if I'm eating a cupcake, if you think of the cupcake to frosting ratio,
okay.
we're gonna assume the cake is the confidence and the frosting's the ego.
Right.
Too little frosting, it just tastes like fucking cake.
Yeah, you don't want just cake.
No, you want like
some sweet in there.
Yeah, but if it's like all frosting and a little bit of cake, it tastes like shit.
Okay.
So I think having just a tiny bit of ego is okay.
Frost your cakes.
Frost your cakes.
Yeah, that's the quote for this podcast. Frost your cakes, guys. Everybody do it. Frost those damn cakes.
But to answer, I guess, the question, just straight up, where is the line between confidence and ego? It's a very blurred line because I think they blend into each other a lot. I think the line is if you are acting in a way that is untrue, or acting or talking about accomplishments or achievements that you haven't necessarily achieved or reached yet, then I would say that's ego. I feel like confidence is almost like a performance. Confidence, you're performing for yourself. Ego, you're performing for others.
Yeah, I guess going off of that, I would say that like for me, I see confidence as something that's very. It doesn't need to be loud. Like you can be a silent, confident person.
Yeah.
And I would say that more confident people are usually silent. You know, they don't have anything to prove. They know that they are the shit, and they don't need to like sit there and like downplay other people or like consistently talk themselves up. Whenever I see somebody do that, I usually think they're full of shit. Like if they're always hyping themselves up in a certain aspect,
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, you're probably insecure about that thing, and
100%.
Yeah, you're full of shit. And I would say that's the ego part. Honestly, I would say the confidence part is like being able to just sit there and be okay with knowing that you're good at what you're doing. Yeah. So, let's get into that next point you got there.
The one I got all the shit written down about?
Yeah, what is all this, man?
Yeah, I'll run you through it. So first, let me start by asking you a question first.
Okay.
If I came to you and I said, yo, I want to be 10 times the person I am by the end of the year.
Okay.
What would you tell me? What would your advice be?
I would say to put in 10 times the effort into who you want to be.
Ooh.
What would you say?
Pretty solid advice. I would say, this sounds a little weird, but like, act like the person you want to be.
It's like fake it till you make it?
Yeah, and then in that way, eventually you will be the person that you want to be. Like if I don't know, let's say I don't like running. If I don't like running, but the person I want to be is someone who's fit and someone who likes to run, and I start acting like, even though I fucking hate running, if I be like, oh dude, I love running, eventually I will be a fit person.
Isn't that kind of going back to what you were just saying about ego, about how people are like just saying that they are something that they're not, and that's the ego that you're trying to get away from?
Yeah, but you don't have to boast about it.
So you like tell yourself?
Yeah,
Okay.
you tell yourself.
Not
Don't be like, yo, what's up, everyone? By the way, I fucking love running.
mm.
It's just something you like quietly tell yourself, and eventually, I feel like it'll. I hate using the word manifest because I think it's such a stupid like.
No, it's real.
concept.
I don't know why you don't agree with manifesting.
It's not real because it's just fucking effort, bro.
No, it's different.
No, it's not.
It's different. You're telling yourself.
It is not. Can you manifest other shit that's not like your own effort?
What?
Like, you ever see like those posts on TikTok of the girls who like write their boyfriend's name 100 times in a journal to like make him like them more? You know what I mean? That's like, oh, I'm manifesting.
No, that's some crazy bitch.
That's what I'm saying.
Is.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not the same thing,
The
man.
manifesting you're talking about is just effort, dude.
I completely disagree, but that's a whole tangent, man.
Yeah. We've been going on too many of those this episode.
But no, go ahead.
I was going to say, for me, there's 3 points of self-improvement that I would focus on, or I would tell them to focus on. It's you have financial, physical, and mental over the course of the year.
Okay. And those are the triangle of success.
Yeah, it's a little triangle of success right there.
The conjoined triangles of success.
Oh my god, third Silicon Valley reference.
If you don't watch Silicon Valley, you're not going to understand half of this podcast, man.
Yeah.
You better start watching that show.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
Yeah, so if someone came to me and was like, "Hey, I want to be like 10 times the person I am by the end of the year," I'd be like, "Okay, you have improved financially, mentally, physically. Physically is probably like pretty easy, I'd say.
Okay.
Just find something that gets your heart rate up and just fucking do it.
Okay.
You don't have to be like the gym rat repping fucking 415 in the gym.
Yeah.
If you like playing hopscotch, just fucking play hopscotch, and eventually you'll get physically fit.
Right.
Same goes for like mental. Is just learn shit.
Right.
That you're interested in. If you're interested in cooking, cook more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think the one thing that is missing from this one, I would say there's 4 points, not 3.
All right.
I agree with financial, physical, and mental. And I think one that needs to be on here is social.
Ooh, okay.
Because the financial, physical, and mental is very individual, like internal, which I get.
Yep.
But you're not going to get anywhere in life by yourself. You need to have some social improvement there too, whether it's with guys or with a significant like other or like the opposite sex. It's scary, you know. But spooky cooties, man. Fuck that shit.
Gross.
No, but you need to have the social aspect too, so that you have other people around you that want you to be better and get to that 10x part.
Yeah, I kind of like thought about that one a little bit, but I was a little bit hesitant to put it because when I thought of social, my mind immediately just went to like not being Mr. Popular, but like increasing your social groups.
Yeah.
But I feel like for some people, that's just not a priority to them. Like they're happily okay just like being on their own. You know what I mean?
Right. But that same argument can go for any of these. Like some people are perfectly happy with where they are financially or physically or mentally.
Oh my god.
I hate to dismantle this, man, but like
My triangle's coming apart, man.
just make it a square, all right? It's fine. Just make it a square. But no, I get where you're going with this. I would just say social needs to be on there.
Yeah, social.
Yeah.
And then the last one is just financial. And then the 3 things I would tell them to do financially, if they haven't already done it, is first, in no particular order, is a high-yield savings account, which is that way it's literally a free money printer.
Right.
It's like, I think I'd made like $200 for free or whatever just for my high-yield savings account. Which
Okay.
I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when it starts to compound,
Yeah, it's a long term.
Yeah, it's a long term type of thing. And then if they don't already have one, is get a credit card, bro.
Oh man. Credit cards.
Dude, you know I love my points.
Yeah, I know. Well, too much.
I mean, I'm
jumping on those points.
I'm gonna sound like someone's dad or parent here, but like, you need credit for shit. Whether
Yeah.
it's like a house, a car payment, whatever. If you want to get something, if you want to get big boy shit, you're probably gonna need credit.
I mean, your credit is literally you're proving to people with a ton of money that you can be trusted with their money.
Yeah.
That's all credit is.
Yeah.
And yeah, eventually you want to get to that point where you're the one with a ton of money, but you need money to make money. So you're going to need to be able to prove to somebody that you can be trusted with their money, because you're not going to have enough at that moment in your life, whether it's for a house, for a car, for a loan on a business.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be able to be trusted with that money.
And since I got my first credit card, I think I've rarely used my debit card, because it makes no sense to.
I've never used it.
Yeah. It's because you're literally, like, I think I bought like 2 books off of Amazon for free.
Yeah.
The past 2 weeks because of the cash back I got on my credit card.
Yeah. I mean, I'm waiting. I think I'm like 3 days away from getting the $200 reward thing on the active cash card.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's just free money.
Yeah.
So 100% get a credit card.
And do it responsibly, though. I mean,
yeah.
As much as it sounds great, just like, oh, I'll just get a credit card. I could spend as much money as I want.
Unlimited money.
Yeah. No, you're going to fuck yourself over.
Yeah.
Like, be smart about your credit cards.
Like, if you cannot pay off your bill in full, just treat your credit card like a debit card.
Right.
If you have $200 in your bank account, but your credit limit, your card allows you to spend up to $1,000 per month, don't be fucking spending $1,000 per month.
Yeah. Don't ever get close to that point of spending more than you make. Like,
yeah.
It's really easy to do that, especially at our age right now. So for people listening that are also in college and everything, like, it's really easy to accidentally spend more than you are making. Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know we were talking about it a little bit earlier. Your built card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've from the research I've done, and other YouTube videos have shown this exact same thing. But the 3 cards that are good to have, like, at least starting off. I mean, obviously you want to start with your student cards, like, right off the bat. So, like, Discover, I know you have.
Yeah.
That's a huge, like, good student credit card to start with. But then straight after that, once you've acquired enough, like, a good credit score, and you get used to building up that credit card and your credit score, I guess, you want to get the Amex Gold card if you can qualify for it. It's got an annual fee, yeah, but, like, you basically are paying for it through, or the annual fee kind of covers itself through its benefits. The active cash card, I would say, is the first one to get right after, like, your student card with Wells Fargo, because there's no annual fee. I'm sorry, there's no points, so I know it just destroys BJ.
Disgusting.
But it's a great card to have, and it's just a good stepping stone into getting those more premium credit cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, the active cash one from Wells Fargo, the gold one from Amex, and then the built card. I don't have it yet because I don't pay for that much of my rent where I need that card.
Yeah.
And whatever I do pay in rent goes to somebody else who then pays the rent for us who live here. But you get like 5x on rent, which is huge.
Yeah, I think maybe it's 1x, I don't know. But for those who aren't, like, super, like, knowledgeable about credit cards, is that a lot of credit cards, or a lot of, I guess, landlords would throw on, like, an egregious, I guess, fee for using a credit card to pay off your rent. But this it, like, just popped up like a year ago. This new built credit card is the only credit card that does that with no fee.
Yeah.
No annual fee. And then you can literally be getting points just for paying your rent.
Yeah. And I don't even think about it as getting 5 or X on points or whatever. To me, it's like a discount. It's like you're getting 5% off your rent for using that card.
I mean, if I'm going to be spending money anyways, why wouldn't I get at least something back for it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it sounds little to go after those points and, like, the cash back and everything, but it's literally like you're consistently paying less money than if you were using just your debit card. So you end up, like, over time saving a shit ton.
I don't necessarily view it as like a discount personally. I view it as like give it like a year or two, because once you just spend money with these cards, you're gonna rack up cash back or points, and then you can get, I don't know, a free trip to Spain.
Yeah,
based off the points.
I personally stay away from like thinking it of like just getting as much points as I can, just because I feel like that just encourages me trying to spend more than I usually would, just so I can keep getting points. I'd rather just think of it as like I'd spend on what I would normally get anyways, but at a cheaper price.
Oh, I mean, yeah, definitely don't chase the points.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna be spending $100 on textbooks, or I can spend $100 and get like 100 points back, might as well use the credit card. And then just the final thing on the little financial corner of my triangle. My triangle is a success.
It should be a square.
Is your Roth IRA.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically, I know it's boring to plan for retirement.
Yeah.
Because you
sound like an old man.
Ugh, you kids need to plan for retirement.
Yeah. You put $20 a day and you could be a millionaire by the time you're 60.
Oh my God. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, God.
Man. Yeah. I mean, look, I know it's boring to plan for retirement because you want to have fun now. Well, like you're young and all that shit. Because I want to do the same. But it's literally like a free millionaire card.
Right.
In a sense.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So basically, to like try to give you like the Cliff Notes? Yeah, the Cliff Notes version of it. You throw in after tax dollars. So whatever your firm paycheck gets taxed, you throw that shit in. And then you just find a stock, ETF, wherever the fuck you can find the stock market. You throw it in there, let it sit in this account, and the stock market usually gives you like a 10% annual return, which means whatever money you have on average will grow about 10%.
Right.
I did the math.
Okay. Big numbers guy. Rare numbers guy. Math from BJ.
If you start while you're 20.
Yeah.
And I can see you fucking grinning over there, bro.
I was thought of a funny joke. I don't know what to tell you.
Let's hear it.
No, go ahead.
If you start at your 20, you throw in like $300 a month, all the way until like you're 65.
Okay.
And if the market isn't great and gives you about 7% on average, by the time you're 65 and you pull that money out, you'll have $1,028,000.
Whoa.
Crazy.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, bro.
It's for your 65?
Yeah. Tax-free, by the way.
Tax-free.
So that entire $1 million is all yours.
Yeah, it's not like you win the lottery and win $1 million and you're only getting like $500,000 because the rest is going to a bunch of fucking taxes.
And lose half of it.
Yeah. It's not like that.
No.
And jokes aside, like I'm completely on board with Roth IRA and everything too.
Yeah.
Like I've got money put in mine. I would say for those of you out there that are not super into stocks and like don't really care that much, and you're worried that like if you put money into something that you're not keeping an eye on all the time, it's just going to disappear and evaporate like before your eyes.
Yeah.
Just go with like the S&P 500.
Yeah.
Like keep it super simple. Like,
what is the S&P 500, Anthony?
It is, yeah. For those of you out there that don't know what S&P 500 is, it is literally just a group of the top 500 companies. Based off of like how much revenue they bring in, and it changes. It's not always the same. Like if somebody drops off that list, they put somebody else back on in the 500.
Yeah.
So you're literally just betting on the economy. That's it. And yeah, the economy is going to have its ups and downs, but as long as we're not getting taken over, like as a country, and businesses are falling apart like at the seams, which isn't. Knock on wood, I guess. You're going to
jinx it, dude.
Yeah, knock on wood, I guess. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
Your money is going to be making money. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And when you do set up your Roth IRA, don't just start it and then put money into it. You actually have to take the money that's in the Roth IRA and invest it.
Yeah.
After. It's 2 steps.
2 steps.
And a lot of people forget that second step. They just put it in the Roth IRA. It's like, oh, I'm making money.
Exactly.
Like, no.
I'm a millionaire now.
Exactly. No, you got to invest after.
Yeah. Nah, I'm such a nerd for the stock market. I go crazy when I see those little green lines go crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I guess that's long story short, that was the advice I would give him is do those 3 things financially.
Yeah.
And then hopscotch and read a book.
Yeah.
And congrats, you're amazing.
Yeah. Even though on the notes here it just says "learn, fucker" instead of read a book, it says "learn, fucker."
It doesn't have to be a book,
you
man.
Dumbass.
You can learn how to cook.
Learn,
idiot.
All right, well, I'll go into one of these points towards the end here.
Sure.
One thing that has been on my mind a little bit is the concept of risking a good life to try to get a great life.
Ooh.
Like, let's say for the people that are trying to start their own businesses, especially coming out of college, you have a pretty good life ahead of you already because you have your education.
Yeah.
You got your degree.
Yeah.
It's probably in something that is at least going to make you like a good amount of money. Yeah, it's not insane. You're not going to be top of the food chain, but you're not going to have a shitty life either. Yep. Like, you're in a good spot. So I think it's very scary for those types of people, including myself, to risk that just so that you can try to get something great.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to get the courage to do.
Is that like something you have to risk though?
I think that was going to be where I was going into it, where the great life that you're searching after doesn't necessarily mean that good life is gone. Bro is stripping.
Dude, it's hot.
He just took his shirt off.
It's hot.
He's in my bedroom, on my bed, taking his shirt off.
We're never gonna beat these allegations, man.
Holy man. Like, and he calls me Pookie. Oh, fuck.
It's over.
No, but yeah, that it's freaky that you are in a sense making your life insecure intentionally when it could just stay simple.
Yeah. I gotta think about that one a little bit.
Yeah, you're pondering.
I am pondering. You threw me off guard with the whole Pookie shit.
Oh, sorry. I got in his head.
Yeah, you did. I think you don't need to... I don't want to misconstrue your words, but like, I don't think you need to risk your good life to have a great one. And I think that's kind of like part of one of the things that the 4-hour work week is trying to teach us. Like, yeah, it is like, especially the chapter we just read about automation, it's very like entrepreneurial focused, and there is a kind of like entrepreneurial theme around the book. But he does touch about people who do have like day jobs and like corporate jobs and stuff, that like they still can enjoy or like implement some parts of the book to make what their good life is like a great one.
Okay.
And I feel like if you're just, I don't want to say like smart about it, because it sounds like such a cheap answer. Like, dude, just be smart and your life would be better. But like, taking risks doesn't mean throwing it all on black in Vegas, or like throwing it all into like a stock in the stock market.
Okay.
Like, if you have a good job, you make good money, you could go into like real estate is probably one of the things I'm getting, or like looking at getting into, 5-10 years down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, if you just learn about real estate and like rental properties, for example, it's a good way of like making passive income. Additionally, if you have a good financial advisor or accountant, this could be really clever tax write-offs for you, saving you more money on taxes.
Okay.
And it's just like, you're not starting the next Fortune 500 company. You're just buying a house in fucking Louisiana, or the fuck.
Yeah.
But it's a step in the right direction. I mean, like, it's not, you're not risking your whole life, your whole business on this.
Gotcha. See, what I say to this is, I think the secret to being comfortable with risking a good life for a great life is understanding and being comfortable with the shit life. Like,
elaborate.
whenever like you always see all these people that are in very successful positions, and they always talk about how they came from nothing.
Yeah.
Like they were like, I don't know, they were abused as a kid, or their family had no money, they couldn't afford anything. And those are the ones that always have like the most drive and adversity.
Yeah.
To get to that successful point. And I think the secret for them is that they understand and know what it's like to be in that shit life. So missing out on like that good life, I guess, like that average part, it's not that big of a deal because they know what it's like if it gets worse, and they've come out of it before.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people that have only had that average good life, it's harder for them to take those risks because they're afraid of, the unknown.
Yeah.
They're not used to having to scrounge for food or like have their parents work all day just to like barely be make through ends meet.
Yeah. I mean, like no one fights for food harder than a hungry man.
The quote back out. All right.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. And it was the perfect time to use it.
Yeah, exactly. Not talking about my consumer mindset.
Yeah. But I mean, we can continue talking about that a ton, I feel like.
Yeah.
So we'll end with this last one. Unless do you want to do the one that your last point there?
This guy?
The
quote. We can touch on it. What's our time looking like? We're at 51.
Okay. I mean, it's up to you. I can go into this last one, not at the end.
Let's go to your last one first, and if we still got time, we can touch on it.
Okay. So I think this last debate that BJ and I had, actually before we started this podcast.
Yeah, like before we started recording.
Yeah, we were watching Silicon Valley. Shout out Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So basically, it's this idea of, I think the initial question I asked you was when it comes to the C-suite positions, basically.
Yeah.
When it comes to either a man being in those positions or a woman being in those positions, do they have the same kind of emotional or egotistical impacts depending on gender? So, like, I think the first example that we brought up was, is the woman just as likely to like cheat on a significant other as a guy would in those positions because they've got all the cards, like they got all the money, they got the power in the relationship. Like, are they just as likely to explore other things? Because like, well, fuck it, I can get whatever the hell I want.
I'd say yes, but I think it's very dependent on the other person within the relationship. You kind of like alluded to it that whoever's in, whether it's the guy or the girl, whoever's in the CEO, CFO position, has the power in like the relationship. You could say he like brings in more money, more powerful, more influential, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I think regardless if it's a guy or a girl, if there's a power imbalance in the relationship, like I use like the movie star example when we were talking about it.
Right.
Like if whether it's a guy or a girl, if they're a movie star dating a worker at Subway, the movie star is gonna be out here mingling with movie stars and shit. And like as shitty as it sounds, not to sound like there's like a class system or like a caste system.
Okay.
But it's just end of the day, they're a higher caliber of individual.
See, I get that, but I would say that the guy, to me, I think the guy is much more likely to take advantage and cheat in that class system, I guess that you're defining. And I think the other way around, when like the girl is the one that has like the power in the relationship, I would say it still usually stems from the guy for why something goes wrong.
Really?
And I would say it's usually an insecurity thing.
Well, you're a guy, dude. You're supposed to be protecting us.
I'm sorry. I mean, I hate to do all my fellow bros out there, man.
Yeah.
But like, I know me, and if my girlfriend was just like way better in every aspect, and just completely like killing it, if I had nothing going on and like it was very obvious that like she could do way better, it would take some serious introspection and like self-control to not fuck up the relationship.
Really? You think you'd like do it on purpose?
I don't even know if I do it on purpose. I think it'd be more like a subconscious thing. Yeah, exactly.
I think, see, that's the tough thing, is I think if we take, like, I know it's a hypothetical because it's not really possible that, like, anyone's doing better than me.
Right.
Hypothetically, if my partner was just better than me in all aspects.
Yeah, like you were dating God.
Yeah, pretty much. That would be, like, the only
way we can think about it.
Yeah, the only way the situation would work. I think it would be really dependent on me and what I'm doing. Like, if I'm sitting on my ass eating chips watching Silicon Valley all day.
Okay.
And
sounds like a great life.
It does sound like a great life. And my girlfriend is just like fucking killing it somewhere, doing like CEO shit or just like being an absolute unit. Then I can see where the insecurity comes from. But I also, if I think I'm working on my own shit and trying to just improve myself, I think it will still be there at the same time. I just don't think to the extent.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, if she's the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but I have, like, a shitty social media consulting startup, like, technically, we're both CEOs.
Okay.
So I think it's just, it puts you, like, even though maybe she is leaps and bounds ahead of you, it just puts you that much closer.
Yeah. I do think it has a lot to do with passion. Like, as long as you're working on something you're passionate about, like, you still feel better about it. Okay. You know? What?
But, babe, you don't know how passionate I am about Family Guy. I'm so passionate about Fortnite.
That's not the same, man.
I know what you're saying.
And to that end, I mean, I've known tons of fucking streamers and YouTubers that their passion is to play those fucking games all the time, and they end up getting some fucking dime piece.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that they're passionate about it.
I should start being a Fortnite streamer.
Yeah. I'm passionate as hell about just sitting down and doing nothing. Love me, please. Please.
Yeah. I think kind of going back to like your original question, or like if the girl or the guy makes a difference. I think to an extent, a little bit. I think in both situations they cheat, the girl or the guy. I think if the girl was in like the position of power, then the gap between her and her partner will have to be a lot bigger from the guy and his partner. Like the guy and his partner can be a lot closer when it comes to, I guess, the gap between them.
Okay.
Like he's willing to, I guess, risk more. I don't know if that's the correct way of putting it.
Maybe.
Do you know what I'm trying to say, though?
Kind of. I mean, it's like almost like an adrenaline junkie.
I guess.
Like they're trying to get away with stuff because they feel it. That's what made them like feel alive before.
I guess the best way to put it is that the woman would be more tolerant.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't even say to extent. I would say 100%. Yeah. That if the guy is in the more powerful position, they're more likely to take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. It's not saying they're going to. It's just saying that like guys in those positions need a lot more self-control than women do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say. Do you want to get into your last point, or?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up with this one. This will be the final one we talk about for tonight. So the quote, I actually saw this right before we started recording too.
Yeah.
Okay. The quote says, "You won't see anything for what it is, unless you stop looking through the lens of what you want it to be."
Oh.
What are your initial thoughts on that, guy?
You won't see anything for what it is unless you stop looking through the lens of what you want it to be. Yeah, I mean, I would say that that's kind of just, to me, it just sounds like people putting their ideas of what they want something to kind of be for them and ignoring the value of what's actually in front of them just because they are putting their ideals on it, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, This is your quote. What do you think this is? This is the first time I'm hearing it, man. You put me on the spot, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just a lot of people, I don't want to say play pretend, but I feel like a lot of people are willing to overlook, and this doesn't have to be strictly just about people or relationships, but it could be about, ideas, businesses, anything, really, is that people are willing to overlook red flags if it matches what they want it to be.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
I would say vice versa, too.
Mm.
I think there's a lot of people out there that will like only focus on the red flags of those things because that's what they want it to be for them.
I
They
see.
want to be right about how shitty something can seem.
Yeah.
Because sometimes being wrong scares them.
So I guess the problem with this quote, or like what this quote is trying to point out, is that a lot of people can be.
Where is this from, by the way? Do you know?
I just found it on Instagram, bro.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Yeah. Basically, what it's just trying to say is that people can be like blinded sometimes by what they want to see. Like if you look red flags, just like normal flags, if you're looking through rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
So how do you take off those glasses?
You went deeper in that metaphor.
Is the metaphor a little lost on you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Basically, it's like what I'm saying is like if I'm, I guess to use like a relationship as the best example, if you are in love, quote unquote, so to speak, with this person, you probably will be willing to overlook, whether consciously or subconsciously, some red flags about them that other people are trying to point out to you. Because you're looking at it through rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, and I would say that goes with a lot of ideas and career choices too.
Yeah.
Because, let's take starting your own business, for example. Like, you're in love with the idea. You are, like, obsessed with it. Like, it's going to work out. And there's so many things that are, like, obvious in front of you. It's like, this is not going to happen. Like, you need to make changes or something. You just keep sitting there. It's like, nah, trust me. Trust me, it's going to work. It's like you pursuing that career field right into college. It's like, I want to do computer science. Like, I'm going to be a programmer. I know it's going to work out great. And then, like, throughout your whole time in college, you find yourself stressed out, hating every time you do a homework assignment, like, in that degree. But in your head, you're like, yeah, but I'm going to be a programmer. I know it's going to work out. Yeah. And then it because you kept ignoring those flags, like, it doesn't.
So I guess what I'm trying to ask is, like, how do you spot how do you acknowledge the flags? Or do you think it has to take other people to push you to acknowledge it?
I think you either need other people to push you, or you always have to like consciously give yourself a part of you that is against everything that you say. It doesn't mean second guessing all the time, but more so just like think on the opposite side. Like if you were to write like a paper or like an argumentative essay or some shit, like you're always taught to take the other perspective and try to figure out what somebody else would say to defeat your point. Do that same thing internally.
I see.
Always have a side of you that's like, okay, maybe you're wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe they are a good person. Maybe they're a shit person. Like, if you were to take that perspective, what things would you honestly look at? Yeah. And then you can compare both of those at the end. Just be like, okay, maybe that side of me is more right in this case. And I need to kind of adjust.
To it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's pretty much everything I had for that.
Yeah.